Okay. All right, everyone. Okay, sorry, but you've got a slightly new format there for the recording. All right, well, look, good evening, everyone, and very warm welcome, and thank you for joining us on our call to prepare us all for the conference in Birmingham, which is going to be incredibly exciting. You know, I was just talking, well, recently, I was just thinking, no, it was not even 4 years ago that, maybe 5 years ago, we would struggle to get 100 people at a conference in the UK, believe it or not. You know, 80, 90, that was all we could stretch to. Now, of course, as we know, we're up to 3,000, 4,000 twice a year. I mean, it's just beyond all imagination. So, you know, we are in the midst of an extraordinary growth with Juice Plus, and we're making history with what we're doing. Nothing's ever been seen like this before, in the sense that nothing's ever been seen like a company like this, in terms of a company which is growing so fast, but with an enormous customer base, and that it's really extraordinary. So we're going to be talking now about the conference, and the conference is coming up on the 24th and 25th of February. Now, we are going to be asking a number of people to just give their feedback from their experience with the conferences in the past. So we're looking forward to that. But first of all, I'd like to introduce Gordon Wilkie, who's a Presidential Marketing Director. And he's there with his dear wife, Michelle, who's an International Marketing Director. And Gordon, would you just like to tell us and give us a bit of an overview about the conference and what we can expect?
Yeah, of course. Do you want to mute everybody, James? Because there's a lot.
Is there a lot of background noise
going on? And you are recording this, aren't you?
Well, I think I am. It's got a slightly different dashboard because I've updated the Zoom, so it looks like it is. Yes. So there we go. Yeah, of course I can. You'll have to unmute yourself though as soon as I do that. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay, there we go. So good evening, everybody, and thank you, James, for that introduction. And I'm very excited, as we all know that I believe that the conferences and events are our shop window, and for me, the conference is the Harrods of all events. So it's our big shop window, and that's where we get, if you like, our excitement. It's where we get our best speakers. It's where we get the best program together, and we get that fuel, if you like, within our bodies that will carry us on for the next, 6 months of the conference. And there's an opportunity, a huge opportunity, to network with other people and just find out what people are doing, individuals are doing differently, and maybe getting that one or two, if you like, golden nuggets that can actually propel your business on to the next level. So, if I look at, I'm in my 26th year with Juice Plus and the company behind Juice Plus, NSA, and I kind of very roughly counted up, I've been to over 75 conferences during that period of time. And I've got to say, if I look back in my kind of history and career within Juice Plus, I went to my very first conference within 1 month of joining the business. And I took myself to New Orleans in America because there was no conferences. James is saying that there's now a conference with 3,000 to 4,000 people. I went to a conference, it was 10,000 people in New Orleans. And what it did for me was it created a vision, and that vision stayed with me forever. And I've got to say that, James and I always thought that further down the line, we would have the number of people that we're having. This is not
Okay, Gordon will come back shortly.
A lot of people. I'm looking forward to listening to a lot of things. I mean, I've just highlighted a few things out of my own kind of, if you like, schedule that I'm going to attend. Lisa Pepple, and I know we're going to hear about her on the Friday, will be a big speaker for me to listen to. Dan Holtzman is always massive value, and Luke Spies, I think on the Friday, I've heard him in Europe before. And not only is he the boyfriend of Olivia Measures, but he is an amazing speaker. So I'm looking forward to the Friday, and I'll hand back to you, James.
Yeah, well, thanks, Gordon. And I mean, it is fascinating the way people often talk about the conference and say that these conferences are the utter breakthroughs for most people. And the reason is because when we start, we have a desire, and then we get to understanding, but just having understanding is not enough. And what the conferences give us, which is an absolutely golden nugget for each of us, is they give us belief. They give us belief that this works, and it's working for other people, and therefore it must effectively work for us. And that is the real thing that moves everybody forward. So without any further delay, I just want to bring on a couple of people that I've already spoken to, who said that they would talk just briefly about their experiences with the conference, just so that people can get an understanding of what people's feedback is from going to the conference. So I'm going to start off with Paula. Good evening, Paula. Paula?
Hello, everyone. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good. And you're up in Yorkshire.
Can you hear me? Let me on mute.
You're up in Yorkshire.
I'm in the Lake District now. We've just
very,
driven over.
very nice. Absolutely lovely. So,
Beautiful.
Paula, just tell us a little bit about your experiences with the conference, because obviously everyone initially think, gosh, what is this conference going to be all about? And, you know, a lot of people have never been to anything like this before. Can you just tell us a little bit about what your feedback, or what your thinking was before you went, and then what you most got out of the conference that you first went to?
Well, obviously, before I went, I had no I just didn't know what to expect. And the first one I went to was in Barcelona. So it was, about 2.5 years ago now. And it absolutely blew my mind. It was just the size, the energy, the excitement, the fact that people are all in a work, it's everyone's like-minded people doing all positive. It was a bit like a Tony Robbins kind of seminar, where everybody just absolutely was loving every single minute of it. Whereas if you go to other conventions or work conferences, people are sitting there counting the minutes and hours and everything, and it's just not like that. Is that the energy is absolutely fantastic. I think the content of what and the quality of what you learn by the top leaders from all over the world. All the things from the medical, from science and the nutrition and all that just gives you so much belief, and made me just feel so proud of being involved with Juice Plus when you hear, because we know the 30 fruits and vegetables and all the kind of the basics, but to hear it from a really in-depth point of view, and to hear these top people just absolutely raving about the science and what's in them just gives you so much belief, so that you can go back to people and you've got that kind of armor. That's how I felt anyway. To see the amount of people on the stage and in the whole convention over the 2 days, that their lives have been completely changed, it's just really touching, because you like you were just saying, like both of you and Gordon were just saying, it's the vision that you get. And you can say, everybody says, or if they can do it, I can do it. It really does give you that feeling of like, it is really possible. It is really out there for everybody. And they're all, and what I love about it is they're all from different walks of life, from different ages, different countries. And even if you think, oh, well, I'm not like them, then somebody else steps on that is more like you. So it's just like a whole variety and the whole wide range of everything, really, that is just mind-blowing. And for me, as well as the fun side of it, I mean, it is, everybody knows who's ever been, it's just so much fun. But to walk away just feeling the belief that you get from the products, the vision from the business, and it just gives you more, to go home with more goals, more belief, just more energy about the whole thing. And for me, I'd say if anybody's on the verge of thinking whether they should go, it's an absolute must. It just kind of catapults you into a different headspace. I think you've said to me before, and this is how I see it as well, it's like a mini university of your business. And, if you are serious about your business, then really it's an absolute must.
Great. Thank you, Paula. No, that's absolutely lovely. And I love that because, you know, if we're going to study for anything in life, we would need to go to study, maybe go to university, do some advanced studying as well. And, you know, sometimes it's absolutely crazy that people think that they're just going to be successful overnight with something like Juice Plus without any learning. So we have to apply ourselves.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I first started, you know, I was in all the earliest videos of the company, and people think, God, James, you must have been amazing. No, it was the back of my head because I was sitting right in the front row. But I knew that I had to learn in order to be able to do this. And I did learn, and I was able to crack it. So, you know, it's been very exciting. So let's go over now to Howard, and we're going to hear from you, Howard. Thank you, Paula, so much. And then we're going to go through the agenda in a little bit of time. And then you just sort of get an understanding of exactly what's going to be going on. So, Howard, if we could just have you on now, and we'd love to hear your impressions. Hi, good evening.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because we often hear the expression, you know, it's where the magic happens, and it really does for a number of reasons. And I think there's two different angles to look at. As far as people already in the business, for distributors, it is that ability for information exchange, for learning, as we've already heard, to most definitely be inspired, to meet people from other countries, as Gordon said, and find out the different sort of nuances that they have, and try and use some of the ideas that they have within our own businesses. And then there's also the opportunity for new people as well, for them to really see the big picture, for them to see the company's vision, to hear from, in a number of cases, to events that I've been, from, you know, the guy that founded the company, from, you know, for somebody who's still after 46 years got such energy and has got a vision, a vision the size of a galaxy. It's just amazing to hear that, and really does reaffirm, and has reaffirmed for me, my decision to actually become involved in the first place. Looking back, and with that in mind, the first event, it wasn't a conference, as Gordon said. I was involved in the early 90s as well, and there were no conferences in this country. But the first event I did go to of any size featured about 450, 500 people. And it was that element of social proof that I was seeking. It was really sort of understanding that there was definitely a movement happening. There was something that really was very, very serious. It wasn't a £50 business. It was something altogether more serious and worth, as such, taking very, very seriously indeed. And therefore, I think it's important for both elements of people, both distributors within the business, for learning, for expanding their knowledge, and for those who are investigating and checking out whether to become involved or not, to something funny.
Go on, Howard.
Is to really, just to really sort of become reaffirmed as to why you're there in the first place, and as such, it's just a fantastic event to be a part of.
Great, Howard. Well, thank you very much indeed. That's very exciting. So let's now turn to the agenda itself. And Amy, it's amazing that you're on. So Amy, I'm going to bring you on now. Amy?
Hi.
Hi, Amy. Hi. Good
Hello.
evening to you. And I know you're recently become a mother, and you've got your darling son there with you.
I have. Well, he's in the next room, fast asleep.
Oh, well done. Well, it's amazing that you're on. Now, you know, it's so fascinating to have you on, and obviously it's wonderful, you know, to have you and working with you and the team, is because you used to work for the company. So this is so interesting. And just before you introduce and just tell us about the guest who's going to be speaking at the conference that you know so well, just tell us a little bit about your background and what you saw from the company side, you know, and really how that motivated you so much to become a distributor yourself.
Yeah, so I'm a nutritionist by trade, and so I actually came across Juice Plus by accident. So I used to work as a nutritionist for the NHS, and I was headhunted, I guess, for want of a better word, and ended up and went with some real curiosity, and probably didn't think I was ever going to take the job, because I thought, never heard of it, what on earth. And when I looked it up as a nutritionist, I was completely blown away. And I think I had 3 or 4 interviews in the end, and I was literally begging for the job. So in my previous life, I was product manager in Europe. So we were making sure that Juice Plus was the best it could be in I think we were 17 countries. We're probably in the 20s in Europe now, I would have thought. Yeah, and so my first experience of a convention was from the corporate side, and I remember even finding conventions extraordinarily motivating as an employee, because you'd be sitting in a room, and again, they weren't in the UK, they were in Europe, and you'd be sitting in a room of 2,000 people from across Europe, thinking, my goodness me, I'm got to make sure I'm doing the best that I possibly can, because we're paying for people's mortgages and children's education and things like that. So they were hugely motivating as an employee. And then I kind of thought, but hang on a minute, what am I doing? Why aren't I doing this for myself? And so here I am on the other side as a distributor.
Wonderful. Well, that's very motivating, I think, for everyone, and it's very exciting that you are a distributor, obviously, because the potential, as we know, in our hands is just so vast. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the agenda. Yep. Now, needless to say, everything can be found in our Juice Plus conference app. Yep. So that is called. You can get it from the App Store. And it's just called, I think, the Juice Plus Conference app. Anyway, this is what it looks like when you look at it, and you've got all the schedule on there. And I'm just going to come back to you in a moment, Amy, but it all starts with registration at 11 o'clock on Friday, the 24th. And then we are going to be at the ICC in Birmingham, which is a very, very nice convention center. We start at 2 o'clock with an overview of the Juice Plus company. So it's very, very good for people to understand the company that we're working with, the extraordinary strength that the company has, and how it's now 47 years old. And then, Amy, if you could just tell us a little bit about your friend who's going to be presenting about products that make a difference.
So I used to work with Lisa. I actually spent some time, a good year or so, out in Memphis when I worked for the company, Memphis being our global headquarters. And Lisa was brought on board, I believe, in 2008. And she came from a previous role with a company called ADM. And ADM is a huge raw materials supplier. So Lisa was brought in. It was a brand new role created to make sure that every raw material that goes into Juice Plus is the best that it possibly can be. And so she works very closely with our manufacturing partners. And our raw material suppliers, so the farms and the encapsulation manufacturers, making just fine tuning. We've got a very small product range, and although it is growing, the essence of what we do is really simple. So it's just making sure that that's as tip-top as it can be, basically. And Lisa heads all that up, and she's responsible for that now. So she would have been pivotal in the project that has been going on for nearly 10 years, and that was getting our product into a veggie capsule, because that we came into such huge technical issues with that, because Juice Plus is such a unique product. But we're there finally, so she would have had a huge role to play in that. I don't know, but I have no doubt that she will have played a huge role in bringing the omega Aquila product to market, and making sure that's been through all the rigorous testing that Juice Plus go above and beyond in making sure that the product is bolt and braces and absolutely tip top as well. The bars, I know she had a lot to do with those. So she's always looking at sort of new, super innovative products, but then that always come back to the Juice Plus story. And yeah, she's nearly been there for 10 years now. So it'll be great to see her speak. She's got loads of enthusiasm. She loves what she does. And yeah, she's a good girl.
Great. Well, we really look forward to that, Amy, and that's fantastic. And again, you know, the product is such an incredibly important element of everything that we do. But if we then go on and we look at the agenda is full of then a lot of stories, a lot of panels, a lot of people being introduced, and then a lot of people being interviewed. We finished then on the Friday with Vision 2020. So the company's got a very, very big vision now to take what we have across the world. And it's just, that's going to be hugely inspiring to hear that. And I think that's probably going to be brought to us by Dan Holtzman, who is our real visionary leader for Europe, CEO of Europe. Then if we turn over to Saturday, so Friday is from 2 o'clock till 6. And then in the evening on the Friday, we've got a special dinner, team dinner, at the Radisson Blu Hotel in Birmingham. And that will be absolutely amazing. We've got some special guests coming, and it's going to be a lovely buffet dinner, two-course dinner, with some great fun, some great inspiring stories, and a lot of really great opportunity to meet other people and talk to people on very much a one-to-one basis, because it's when we're at the conference, it's fantastic to hear all the information, but what's almost more valuable is to be able to sit next to someone at the dinner table and say, well, what are you doing? How are you going about things? And that's really wonderful. So we're going to be doing that on the Saturday, so on the Friday night, and then in a moment I'll talk about the Saturday. So Gordon, could you just tell us a little bit more about the dinner? Gordon?
I'm going to pass over to Michelle. Michelle's going to talk about it more.
Yeah, go on.
Well, I don't know anything. Well, probably you just said it all, really, James. It's Radisson Blu Hotel. It's 7:30 in the evening. You need to book your tickets for that, so let us know about it. It's £20 for the ticket, which is subsidised by the leaders, by James and Gordon and myself. And it's I think for me, it's one of the highlights of the whole weekend. Our team dinner is always lovely because it does, as you mentioned and alluded to, James, that it is that chance to sit down and talk on a one-to-one basis, which, you don't get a whole lot of time during the rest of the conference. So I think that is a special time. And it's great just, from our point of view, to see the team together. For me, I love seeing everybody come together. And we always have a good laugh. Last year with the disco, that was great. I know we always throw something in, and we often have some Juice Plus celebrities that come along and join us. And I think we're as a team we're really honoured and very lucky to have those people come to our team dinner, because they come to us and they don't go to anybody else. Yeah. So I feel very privileged that they join us for that.
Thank you very much. So Gordon, the tickets are going to be available obviously from you and I. Thank you, Michelle. Tickets available from you and I at a subsidised price of £20 per head.
Correct. Yeah. And I'll post up on the Aquila team page the bank details so that we can actually get that advance payment. That'd be great. Yeah. We're also, as Michelle said, we've opened it up also to some of our Irish brethren. Right. So might see some Irish kind of contingent come along and boost our numbers for the actual day. And these guys, they've been in the business as long as we have, in terms of Damien, Olive Brennan and Eddie Shaughnessy and their teams. And we like to think we're all kind of on the same path in terms of where we're going. And that's our opportunity to kind of network with like-minded individuals, as Michelle said, and really get to know what they're doing and what we're doing, and just comparing notes, really, and having a fun evening. That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah. Good. And then we move on. And then on the Saturday, of course, we're back into the conference again. That will be another extraordinary day. A little bit more focused on developing yourself. Got a good session called Believing in Yourself. Be your best. Because at the end of the day, this is a combination really of being excited and informed about the product, being shown stories about what other people are doing, but then also being inspired to reach beyond ourselves, to become bigger people in ourselves, to reach out of ourselves in a sense, to achieve what is really possible for each one of us. And then, as Gordon was saying on the Saturday, and this is going to be so important for the younger people that are on the call, we have Lucas, who's speaking with us from Germany. He's a special guest, and he closed out the conference in Berlin, didn't he, Gordon? And Gordon, can you just tell us, because I remember you sort of said to me afterwards, you were just staggered at his ability to put across, the simplicity of our business, but also the massive success that he's had. And I think he's only about 21 or 22, isn't he, or 23? Tell us about your impression when you saw him speak in Berlin.
Well, I think I said to you when I came back, I've never seen anyone at that age have the ability, A, to communicate, B, to articulate, and C, to inspire an audience as much as he did. And literally, he spoke for 40 minutes and he kept us all literally in the palm of his hands, in totally enthralled with what he was saying and inspired. I think I took something like 7 pages of notes, and I've been in the business for 25 years, but the information he gave was absolutely gold dust. And, it was an inspiration to hear somebody of that nature. And that, youthfulness, if you like, communicates with such a large audience. But that's what we've got. That's the kind of, the caliber of the people that are coming through. Hey, fantastic. Our business is secure knowing that these kind of people are coming through, and we have the same kind of people within our own networks anyway.
Good, great. All right, well, that's it. Thank you, Gordon, very much. Well, that's it, really. We've said everything.
One more thing. There was a big announcement today, and for all the people on the call tonight, the company have secured a band called Blue. If you've ever heard of them, I'm sure I have somewhere along the line. But this is a boy band, and they're going to be playing on the Saturday night. And they're doing a competition now on the Facebook page, Simon's Facebook page. And if you actually post the picture, preferably with your clothes on, not with your clothes off, and Juice Plus, then you've got an opportunity. You've been drawn. 3 people will be drawn from the actual hat, and they will have a chance to meet backstage the Blue Band. So
I've put that below as well. So all the details that Blue are playing at our party. Woo! And the theme for everybody, it's Great Gatsby. So fantastic, excuse for ladies to get dressed up in their sort of 20s style clothes. And I think it's going to be a very glamorous, lovely, lovely evening.
Good, yeah. Great. All right, look, we're finishing up now. So that's very exciting. Good, exciting news there. So what to do now? Okay, so we've heard the information about the conference for ourselves. So hopefully we're all, if we were thinking, I'm not sure whether I'm going to be going, we're now thinking, I absolutely must be there. But now, what do we do beyond that? Well, the best possible thing that we can be doing is not just going ourselves, but have other people there with us. So that we can share that excitement. And plus also that, we've got that element of just being with other people and seeing other people get excited at the same time. And then, of course, that means that we then come back and instantaneously we've got a sort of massive energy growth in our team. So for me, what am I doing? I've got someone I met last Friday, and I think he's definitely going to be coming to the conference. I'm seeing a girl tomorrow, and I'm hoping that she's going to come to the conference. These are all new people. So, I'm utterly flat out focused on inviting new people because I know the value of it. And so, we've got 2 weeks now, or 10 days to go, and we've got everything to play for in terms of bringing people. You know, we can be calling people, we can be texting people, we can, whatever it takes. But, you know, between now and really then, we have an opportunity to really utterly transform our businesses. And it's the number of people that we get there with us that will utterly transform our team. So I can't speak highly enough and express how important it is now for us to go from this call and be thinking, who else can we bring? Is there anything else, Gordon, you'd like to say?
No, I think you've said it all, James. I mean, you know, the interesting thing is that this is like a conference that's going to happen, as you say, in 10 days. The next one isn't going to be until 6 months down the line. So what would you do in the next 10 days to get your best person there? And, you know, that's the question that you've got to ask yourself. And it's never too late to invite people. Yeah, and you know, you can always get a ticket from somewhere, I'm sure. Yeah. So, you know, I'm doing exactly the same as you, James. I know the benefit of actually getting people there. And, you know, I'm working hard to do that. I happened to be in Heathrow about a month ago, and I spoke to one of the girls at the restaurant that I was at, and she looks as though she's actually going to come to Birmingham. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that one. But that's what I'm working on as well.
Yeah, great. Well done. I mean, I know Paula was up last week talking to people in the shops and everything round in Birmingham. So, you know, it's whatever it takes, really, because the results can be so fantastic. But at the end of the day, we're going to have an amazing time. And we look forward to sharing it all with everyone here. So thank you for joining us, everybody. I believe this was recorded. I hope so. We've got a slightly different format with the dashboard at the bottom. So I'm pretty confident it will have been recorded. But thank you for joining us. And we really, really look forward to seeing you in Birmingham. And, you know, we look forward to having our minds utterly exploded in terms of the potential that we see there. So thank you, everybody, for your time. And we look forward to seeing you just in 10 days' time. Okay. Good night.
Bye.
Cheers, James. See you.